Welcome everybody to the latest installment of the Contributor Tech Discussions. We're demo heavy today, so let's kick things off right away. First on the docket, Jeff and the Berty team.
Hi, you see my, well, let's see, it's loading. You see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, this will be quick. So a while ago, we created the VM Qdoc endpoint, so you can query it. And it adds comments to all the results. And now we want to update Gnodoc. And so Gnodoc previously used the Go syntax tree directly, but now we're setting it up to use JSON documentation. Right now it's still loading it from the local files, but the whole idea is it will allow the possibility of someone being able to use Gnodoc locally without needing to have all the files local. It could query the node. And as just a quick example, all the output is very similar to what Gnodoc currently does, but we've been enhancing this structure that's returned, so that, for example, the type has a lot of information in it. It'll say whether the type is an alias, and it'll say what kind of type it is. And the functions also, in addition to having all the details about parameters and results, we added crossing. And that allows us to, by the way, we're still working on this PR, but it allows us to, show crossing. So in text, there's one way of showing whether a function is crossing with just with this comment, and you can, you can get more details. Like get all the details of this, including comments and fun stuff like that. And even while we're working on this, also there's the idea to update Gnoweb. So the Gnoweb help screen, previously we updated it so that it does, show, there's not a good example for comments here. Yeah, show comments. But we could do a couple things here, and I wanted to get some quick feedback. One is simply to flag that it's crossing somehow. So this function is crossing and this one isn't. We could use an icon because it's HTML. So like this is a copy icon. We could come up with a clever icon for crossing. Another possibility is, since the purpose of this help page is to make these Gnoki queries, and you can only make Gnoki queries to crossing functions, possibility is just to filter out and not show other functions like this, which are not crossing. I'm wondering if anybody has any feedback on that.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Yeah, I think we should filter those out because you can't call them.
Okay, that makes sense. That someone made I think it was Morgan, made a comment. So if we filter out and we only show crossing functions, maybe we don't need to say this. We don't need to mark them as crossing because it's redundant. What do you think?
Yeah, agreed. I think that once we add Gnodoc on the once we I mean, we should be able to query anything, but there's no generation for a query right now. Okay. When we add support for displaying Gnodoc in general, also for packages, I think we can separate a section where we show crossing functions and non-crossing functions. So that you have crossing functions at the top, and then functions that you can only query like normal Gnodoc, and that show ways to query them.
Okay, so I'll change this to just filter out anything that is not crossing. And so this is going to be in a separate PR, yeah, okay, that's good feedback. Any other feedback, or else I'm done?
Well, Manfred mentioned in the comments that maybe not filtered, but categorized differently.
Categorize friendly.
Differently, sorry, not friendly.
differently. Maybe not filtered, but categorized differently. Oh yeah, so a section for crossing functions and a section for non-crossing functions.
It would also be nice if there was a checkbox that was like pre-checked that only showed crossing functions, but then there was like a, like if I unchecked it, then it would actually show me every exported function. I think for troubleshooting, especially like if I'm writing a contract and I realize I forgot to put crossing in, it would be really nice to know why.
I don't know what this means. Crossing with Gnodoc command. I heard you, Nathan. Thank you. Crossing with Gnodoc command plus one-click query. No crossing, just with query. Well, this is we're talking about right now. We're talking about the help page, and it just
What Manfred is saying is that maybe we should have, for non-crossing functions, a way to call query. I think this is.
Oh, you mean so the assumption is if it's non-crossing, then it's probably not mutating, and you can probably call it with just query without a transaction. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
I got it. So that's cool.
So,
that would be fun. So I can try to set it up so that if it's non-crossing, we assume that it would work just by calling query, and this would be a query key call.
yeah, I think we can also set it. I think right now, it's we can also show a query comment also for the normal functions, although maybe they need to be cross-function query. But anyway, but maybe makes what I'm saying maybe makes sense to show query for everything, but not show the matrix call for the non-cross functions.
Not show the make TX.
Like exactly.
Okay.
So make TX only for crossing, make TX and query for non-crossing.
Okay, I'll play with that. That's great. Thanks. one click. Yeah. One click meaning one click to copy, right? Like this. You mean? Is that right? Yeah. Thumbs up. Okay. Although of course this will copy all this stuff too. Maybe we should set this up so that the copy button only does the command. All right, good stuff to work with. To query and display the result. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. Maybe Gnoweb itself could run the query because you don't need to sign. Interesting. Okay. That would be cool. All right. Great ideas. I'll try to write these down. Okay, I'll stop here. Thanks.
Great work, Jeff.
Yep.
Next up, we got Nathan and the intro to Eve Components package.
Actually, we're gonna let Matthew lead this one.
So some of you may know we're part of the All in Bits Labs working group, and as such, we've been developing an event component API. This allows you to do part of your event planning on chain and to publish an agenda. So I'm just going to go over the P library that we've been working with, and I'm going to talk about some of the rendering details that we've applied, and then just kind of go over how our API is structured. And there's also one other topic about how to make data visible to search engines. Let's see. So in Eve, everything is a component, and so any type can be a component if you implement this interface. We support rendering JSON, SVG, or Markdown. And so this is an example of a GopherCon event agenda, and you can kind of see how the different content elements break down. And so each element is a component, and so together they assemble to produce the agenda. And so we can edit this little keynote speaker injectable content block. It just takes regular Markdown. It's basically like a CMS would give you an editable field. That's what that is here. For the other elements, they're part of the structure of the event. So sessions, locations are sub-elements, so they have their own GNO data types. And at the bottom, we render the whole agenda as an SVG. We think this is a compact design that people can use from mobile or even like save as something. Part of our objectives were to try to just stay within the confines of Gno.land, and so even with that, we were able to do some SVG elements. We made a conscious choice not to make a global API, whereas Boards has a board realm that you talk to when you want to do anything with Boards. We imagine that event planners will want to be able to version their software and run completely different type of event support from year to year. And so we purposefully left part of our realm empty so that a global API might eventually exist at r/Eve. But for now, we're assuming an event is a realm. And so along with that, you get realm specific actions. So if you wanted to talk to the GopherCon event, you would be sending commands to that realm. And because of that, we've also had to enumerate all of the various updating APIs in this one realm package. The way that we achieve SVG I think is not too exotic, but our Markdown rendering engine allows for data URLs to still function as images. And so we're able to take the raw Gno structs and convert them to a compatible SVG structure and embed them right in Gno.land. When you do this, you unlock the ability to be able to style your elements, something that you can't do with plain Markdown. You have complete control over the layout, and mostly we're finding like vertically orienting elements is really easily, and you can keep track of the height of each subcomponent, and so you can calculate the predicted height of your overall SVG. For our API, we also allow some path-based selection. And so in the example on the right here, I'm adding the JSON tag. And so it's showing the entire agenda as JSON, and then also the SVG version of it below. This is initially for us since we're imagining deploying events as code, this is a tool for us to be able to examine things. We also think that using Gnoland as an API, having JSON support from a render call will probably be useful if we try to make a traditional dApp with this. At the bottom there, you see an example. You can select subcomponents by adding another colon between the realm and the other parameters. What we're thinking about in terms of SEO is trying to add support for what Google calls structured data. And this is a format called JSON LD. LD means linked document. And so if you go to schema.org, you can see a complete compendium of a bunch of different vocabularies, but there is an existing one for events. So if we wanted a search engine to be able to scan our web page, pick up the event, and then also know what it is, give a rich result, then it's something that we should try to achieve. And this is an example. We've just used the two JSON construct here, and we've just implemented the schema. It doesn't really matter what you put there. It's just supposed to be the JSON representation of whatever object you're trying to display. The way that we allow updates is to whitelist a set of patch realms that we can kind of predict in advance. And so in the init code for the GopherCon API, we have these functions that do the realm checks. We haven't had to do crossing updates because we're specifically looking to see, we're allowing another patch realm to make calls into what we're doing. And this init function is where we set the patch pattern. And you can see in this patch that's changing the GopherCon event object, we're just making calls to exported methods. We're doing it without doing crossing. But this makes a really convenient way to do a set of changes at once. You could imagine having change sets digested into patches, and it would be a setting where you would want all of them to succeed or none of them to succeed. And so the init function in this patch realm allows us to achieve that. I think look for more comments from us about Eve. Also, I think Nathan's going to talk about linking Discord to our event system. We've also been thinking about how to provide a CDN alongside normal Gnoland content. And eventually, we're going to reach out and ask about, we want to plan an event on chain, and we'll be asking people for feedback there. If anybody has any questions, I'm glad to take them.
Cool. I think I'm next on the agenda. So I was going to do a quick preview of the linker bot that we've been working on as a complement to the event system. The idea is that could we link a GNO address to Discord in a way that's self-service, right? So, and can we do this using Gnoland itself to be the source of truth? And so I'm just giving a quick demo of what we have work in process. And this is using the interrealm spec. So we actually just recently spun up what we're calling LabsNet, which is it's Gnodev in a collaborative mode. So it's still an ephemeral chain. It's a way for us to do quick experiments, but we don't have like permanent transaction replaying or anything like that. What I have here is this mock event. And my address here ends in the TOT at the end here. So I'm an organizer and I'm also an attendee, but I'm not a speaker at this event. What I wanted to bring up is I've heard that this Discord server has some cool perks for people who are attendees to this event. And so I would like to be able to share in discussions on Discord, but you actually can, it's invite only. So I have this Discord linker bot here. It's able to talk to our Gnoland our Gnoland chain. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to verify and see, is my address linked? So I do verify address, and it's going to tell me, no, it looks like you haven't linked your address yet. And so I'm going to go ahead and ask the Discord bot, hey, link my address, and this is my identity on chain. And it signs an ED25519 claim, which says, hey, I'm vouching that this is their Discord ID, and they've claimed that this is the GNO address. So I'm going to go ahead and claim this. Oops, let me sign into my Adena wallet real quick. There we go. Great. And so I use the quick link. It's confirming this. And because I'm the one sending this transaction, I'm able to vouch that, hey, I'm actually the owner of this GNO address. We also have another quick link here. We can confirm on chain that this is actually linked. If there was no link, of course, something's going on. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, the contract is confirming that this is here, and I can actually ask the Discord bot as well, right? So I'm going to verify the address and go ahead and ask it. And it says, cool, yeah, I see that you actually have this address. And it's doing this by actually talking to Gnoland. Of course, now that I'm linked up, that doesn't do anything by itself. I actually need to tell it, hey, give me access to this event. And so in this case, I'm just doing the path to the event. It's just a mock event here. And so what Discord bot, the linker bot is doing in the background is it's verifying there's the role linking. There are, it's checking to make sure I'm a real linked account. And it says, okay, cool. Yes, you are a member of attendees, but you're not a member of speakers. But this is actually unlocked on the Discord server itself. It's automatically provisioned my membership in a role mapping on Discord server based off of the role mappings that are allowed from the Gnoland smart contract. So anyway, this was just a quick demo. I'm happy to answer questions about anything here. And I know I kind of made y'all drink from a fire hose. So. Cool thing about the linker bot is it actually uses a really basic function, which is called hasRole. So it has role, a string for the role name, and then the address, and it returns a Boolean. So any realm can actually implement hasRole, and it could integrate itself with the linker bot. So this is, even though we're building this for our event system, anybody who wants to have special role permissions based off of your realm represented inside of a Discord server could use this. So this is a general use tool, but specifically built for our needs. Cool. Yeah, that's the end of our demo.
I think Mayford had a question about why it being encoded.
Oh, why encoded? Oh, why does it encoded? Meaning the claim link that's being sent? Is that what you're asking? Oh yeah. So that's a great question. So it is it's actually using the NACL or libsodium sign interface, which uses a ED25519 signed claim. So in this case, it actually has, I mean, we don't have to get too much into the implementation details, but it's a timestamp because there's a window that this claim is valid, and it's the pieces of data that you're claiming. The reason this is, the Discord server is saying, I'm vouching for this Discord ID as being valid. And so we're taking that and saying, if Discord server says the Discord ID is valid, and you as the address owner are really asking for this to be linked, then we're going to accept this as a real link, right? So it's something that we have from the Discord server, and it's something that you have because you are the owner yourself. And so we allow this to be linked because of those two pieces of information.
All right, if there are no more questions, we can move over to the Samourai team and their demo of the Samourai DAO.
Yes, can you hear me good?
Yep.
Yes, nice. I will share my screen. What I will show you today is like updates about how the DAO framework and DAO kit. It's nice because linked to the previous demo, I think we could implement this linker to link to be able to claim a spot in the DAO. But so to remind what happened last time, we did a demonstration. It was about DAO kit, that is a package meant to build any kind of DAO. And we wanted to be flexible enough to represent real world organization. So to be sure it's useful, we decided to implement Samourai DAO and use it ourselves for all the activities within the organization. So I will go fast on the first thing because we already demoed this, but we have many roles with a name and description like CEO or employee, freelance, etc. And the resources that are the actions that can be executed using proposals. The different thing, like where DAO kit is different, is how we use like voting power and everything. We use conditions that is based on roles, and you can create many conditions. Like for example, to change CEO, we need 66% of stakeholder members and 66% of employee members and 33% of freelance members. That means that if you are, for example, a newcomer freelance, that is a special role, your vote doesn't matter when it's about changing CEO. So for the first thing up, I will show you. For example, we have a new mate in Samourai, that is Miyo-san. And I think he did a pretty good job on the last few months. So I can create a new proposal to promote him from newcomer freelance to freelance. And from this, we can see that I need the approval of the CEO, that is Zuma for now, and 60. Hello? Okay, and 60. It's fine. And 60% of stakeholder members. And we can see that the stakeholder members are Zuma, Yuan, Fanny, etc. So me, I cannot execute this proposal alone, for example. We also can connect to external package that already exists. For example, the blog that is in a p-demo blog. So in the demo namespace, we don't need the package to be built for DAO-Kit. We can just add some resources, that is a few block of code, to connect it with DAO-Kit. So for example, if I decide to run a new, to create a new post, so I did it as a Fanny that have the social media manager role. You can see here we just need one social manager. I published a new post, and we can find it in the blog just here. So it's good. We can connect with other package, and we also worked on a new package. Okay, up. We just up this for the roadmap. So we have two new packages. This one is just to show you how we can connect. Okay, we can also customize the display. So why it doesn't work? Okay, it worked now. So we have a project manager to handle the project and see who is assigned to everything. But the important thing is the payrolls package to handle the payments of the members of the DAO. So here I will create a. Don't work. Okay, now it works. I create a new payroll proposal. So it's for me to be paid 600,000 Gnod per month. I propose this, and now how it works in the DAO is really how it works in our organization. That means we need 2/3 of the stakeholder members and one from the accountability, that is Young, that handles this part. It's them that can choose my payroll and what will be my remuneration. And if I execute it, so here I will vote as Zuma. I will vote as Fanny. So here are the stakeholders, and I need 63%. So we have 4 stakeholders. So I need at least 3, and I will vote with the accountant of the DAO, that is Yang, and I will execute the proposal. So now it's executed. We can enter the payrolls like this, and now I can claim already 1 Gnod. With the time, I will be able to claim more. So yes, that's it for the demonstration of what we did. Why I wanted to show you this is first we will open a pull request in the next few days or next week with everything. We will go first with the OKit, and then we will open for payrolls package and everything. But if you want to contribute or use JOKit, feel free to connect with me and with the Samourai team, so we can discuss on what are your needs and how the OKit can answer them. We really want to make it the more flexible possible, so we can represent any kind of organization. And after, I just want to speak a little bit about the roadmap. So the most important thing is we will introduce automatic rank upgrade. Like, okay, it's 2 years now that you joined the DAO, so you will, I don't know, become senior freelance automatic. and every 4 years have like a automatic proposal kind of to have a new CEO, because it's how it works in our organization in real life. And we also want to connect and bridge towards external real-world resources. Like for the bank, for now we use Conto. For the cloud provider, connect with Scaleway, so we can book server just from the organization. So that's it for the demonstration. It's a lot, but feel free to connect. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for the great demo. Now it's time to move to the discussions. So Jeff has a couple of questions that he wants to ask.
All right. In Gnocchi Mobile and other people's apps, so the user wants to do a transaction, and we want to estimate gas first before doing the transaction. And it appears, and maybe first question is, can you correct me if I'm wrong? It appears that we need to sign the transaction before calling estimate gas. And I'm talking about the estimate gas function that's in the Gno client. If that's right, then it gets in the way of our use case. Imagine that, because you're going to estimate the gas, and then you want to get the approval from the user, and then you want to sign it for real, because when you change the gas in the transaction, you have to re-sign it. And so we end up signing twice. And this can be a problem, especially if you're using an air gap, right? So if Yuri's here, we can give a quick, I think he is, if you're ready, Yuri, to show kind of what we're talking about, how it affects the UX. So go ahead. Let me stop sharing.
Okay. It's just to show you guys how it could be annoying for regular users. So imagine that this is the social board, and here is this user board, dev key 123, and this user already have a post. So my first post, which I want to reply, but I don't want to do a simple reply. I just reply from my mobile phone. So it's here. Let me refresh. It's okay. So I will reply from Gnocchi mobile. So it will open Gnocchi. Okay. Gnocchi gets all the information from this contract from Gnodoc. It estimate the gas, like Jeff said, put here the arguments that I need to call. If I want more details, I have everything here from Gnodoc, but it's not the point that we saw that we need, as Jeff said, we need to sign the transaction behind the scene to estimate the gas, and we need to know more or less how much gas we want to spend on this, but the annoying part is we need account to sign the transaction. But for the user, we just want to see. We just want to see something to decide, But you are asking me to the user to use one of their keys to sign the transaction to see how much gas that we use. So he could have a lot of keys, and for this transaction, I don't know if you got me, but it's an extra effort that we put on the UI and security concerns that you raise it with this estimation gas process. So it's just bringing here this discussion to see if we can improve or change a little bit this thing.
Great, thanks. So if you let me share again, I'll pull up the issue that Milos just posted and ask him how it applies. No, Morgan posted this issue that came from Milos. How does this apply to whether you have to sign a transaction before estimating gas?
Just check issue 2.
Issue 2.
Well, I've also checked the file that I sent you. Basically, this code is used by the ND handler. I think, yeah, that like you need to have a valid signature, but it can actually have wrong account sequence and chain ID. Okay, so it can be like wrong signature maybe.
Little trouble hearing you. Maybe you're talking about the other part of my question. Is it possible just for estimating gas to sign with a test key?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as long as it has keys, as long as it has tokens, I think, because I think it will still like simulate will still check that the account has enough gas to pay for the fees.
So if we had a test account that we never actually spend coins on, and just sign with that a test account, then we could call estimate gas. You know, you also have to sign. You have to have the sequence number. You have to get that. But I guess if we never actually commit a transaction with it, the sequence number would be the same every time. Also, is that a good way forward? We can just try to use the test key. Well, we'll try that. Maybe it'll work.
I mean, the thing is that, you know, in a real context, the test key needs, you can try it out. I think it needs to have Gnot for it to pay for fees.
Well,
so I don't think
we can do that. I don't know. I'll at least do a proof of concept, see if that works. Sign with a random test key. I guess it should, right? No reason not to work. Are there other ways in which it might be possible to estimate gas without actually doing a private key operation and signing it?
Seems rather hacky to me for what the intent of GNOKey Mobile is. Couldn't we just have a service as part of the GNOKey infrastructure where clients can send unsigned transaction intents and get a estimation from the endpoint?
Well, that may be equivalent to just having a test key on the chain with a little bit of Gnod in it. Just thinking out loud.
Yeah, I didn't get this part.
Oh, sorry, you meant a centralized test key, not the user's test key.
Right, just we make a key, we put some Gnod in it, and we never sign transactions with it, and we never give the private key to anybody else, and just sign with that, and then.
Okay, so that does sound somewhat equivalent. I thought you were talking about like a user key, and somehow we would have to fund that with, fees that don't get spent and all this kind of stuff.
No, just a dedicated key with some Gnod on the chain for this purpose.
What's the purpose of having?
So we don't have to sign the transaction twice. We want to present the transaction and say, do you want to do this transaction? And we want it to be showing how much the estimated gas will be before they sign it with their own key.
Mm.
Maybe you can just put an arbitrary signature.
Yeah, that's what I mean by what if you mean just with like random numbers, or should it be a?
Yeah.
Okay, we can try that. Does estimate gas try to validate the signature?
If it does, it will be a problem. If it doesn't, you are good, and maybe you can just use whatever key you have in your system, the first one, for instance, and ask for the real key after.
Okay. Yeah, we'll try.
Actually, no. What I say is wrong, because in practice you will want to have the context of the caller, because the same transaction can be different from a caller to another.
Really?
If I have
checking for the realm and all that.
Yeah, if I have 10 items and you have one and there is a for loop, my transaction will be more costly than yours.
Oh crap.
So I think you cannot avoid specifying a public key.
Yeah, I
So-
think we definitely want to we want to use their public key because it might matter, but we should. It sounds like we should make sure the estimate function on the node can take like a zero gas, which means estimate with just infinite amount of coins and figure out how much gas is needed.
We can indicate the user's public key so that it knows which account to use. Is it possible for estimate gas to not check the signature? So that we.
I think it might not already, and if it does check the signature, we should figure out a way to not check the signature.
That would be the
simulation.
best solution. Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll look into that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks a lot. I see some more comments. Dynamite. If there's no different.
Yeah, Christoph. That's what I said.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Milos, did I miss anything that you mentioned, or are these jokes about dynamite?
No, I think we covered everything.
Okay, great. Okay, well, since I'm still here, these are more general questions. If in the last 15 minutes, other people want to have thought of things they want to discuss, they can. Otherwise, we as a team, we look at the code and, Yuri, Remy, and I come up with questions about crossing. And we have a couple idle questions. I know that there will be a later time where there's a much more concerted effort to explain to everybody what crossing is. But can I ask a small question about crossing now?
Yeah, sure.
So here's an example. We understand why if it's a public function, it needs to be crossing. But, like a private function like this is only ever called from within this realm. So why does it need to say crossing? Is it because of some sort of magic about how it's going to somehow be from some other function callable from another realm?
No, that's a good question. It doesn't need to, probably not. But I was the one who was I was migrating this code, and I was having a hard time for a moment figuring out what should be crossing or not. So I just put crossing everywhere.
Okay.
I don't know if it needs to be crossing.
All right.
I don't think so.
I think I understand maybe why this one might need to be crossing, because this may be doing some magical thing about who is the banker of the caller or something like that, not the banker of this realm or something.
Well, no, this means it's trying to get the for the current realm of the faucet. So let's see, banker address. I guess it's saying what this definition here says that banker address is the address of the faucet.
Okay.
Because after you cross, current realm is wherever it's declared in this file.
Also seems to me like, so my naive understanding of crossing was it's for mutable functions, which can change the state of the realm. But this sure looks to me like something which is a read-only operation. What is my
The
address?
other main thing it does is it shifts the realm such that the current realm becomes where it is declared in this file.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for banker address to return to faucet address, it has to be crossing.
Interesting. Okay, that's good. So maybe also consider this feedback from a someone who isn't neck deep in this, trying to contemplate what crossing is. Okay, well, I think that's good explanations. Thanks, straight from the main guy. Otherwise, all the other lowercase functions we found which are crossing made sense. They were sort of these weird callbacks which provide some other realm privileged access to changing something. And I understand why those would need to be crossing. All right. I'll stop here. Maybe somebody else wants to discuss, or we can return the time.
I'm still working on a transpiler to go from code that is written for the current master to the latest spec, which is not on a master. There's a PR for that. I'm trying to find it right now. Anyways, I'll find the PR and put it up here for a new spec, but I don't think we should be discussing it just yet. But just know that if you're writing code that works for the current master, so hopefully it's if you have any issues migrating to the current master, then please let us know. But it should be easier to migrate with the transpiler tool, and that should be coming out sometime this week.
All right. Does anybody have anything else they wanted to discuss? I guess we can wrap up early today then. Thank you all for coming, and looking forward to seeing you on the next call.
It's number 4223.
Not the one that Antoine posted? Okay.
Oh, is that it? Well, yeah, one is the code, the other is the syntax. Is that it? Yeah, this is it. Cool. Thank you. All right, guys. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye.